QR code there, and the Wi-Fi information is in the lower right. And everybody get a chance to see that downstairs. We are keeping track of attendance, so. And the cool thing with 1 Million Cups is this same meeting is happening across the U.S. So if you travel, anybody here travel for work? Or if you travel, if you go on vacation, and you want to do some work on vacation, you can look up the Million Cups wherever you are. And there's chapters throughout, so you can go as a visitor to any of those and check those out. So I see a couple people still scanning. Everybody got it?
Although you did sign this.
Yeah, we're going to know if you didn't sign in. Okay. Well, did you sign in downstairs?
Line above the,
Okay.
using the Google, if it's
The Google?
the Google Lens.
Oh, I don't know.
So if you have an Android, you have to open up Google and scan it through your Google Lens, and then that will pull up the sign-in.
That's a high-tech phone.
I don't know. I have a flip phone.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so a couple housekeeping items. We just want to refrain from side conversations. There's a lot of people here in the room, so it could be a little bit loud if everybody's having a side conversation. If you can mute your phone, that would be terrific. And we are streaming live on Facebook. So text your friends, family, friends, let them know to tune in. And they can ask questions also during the Q&A session. So we are live. So if you can't make it next week, you can tune in to us through Facebook. I think I need assistance, Monty. This thing never works. So thank you to our host, Mega Workplace. And Pam and George are not here today. But if you are interested and you need some workspace, this building, there's workspace available. You can rent a desk, you can rent an office, you can rent a conference room. So their information is on the back table. So if you're interested, grab some information and get in touch with them. And our sponsors, we have Foxtail providing the coffee and Legacy Financial Services right there. Okay, so what is 1 Million Cups? So it is a community organization. It's free to come, free to present. And like I said, it's a network of 100 plus chapters. And then the closest chapter to us is in Orlando. Has anybody gone to that one? I think they meet at Rollins College. You've been to it? Yeah, so we have, and John, you've been to it. So the format is the same for all of them. We have a presenter that speaks for 6 minutes, and then we have a 20-minute Q&A, and we give help to that business owner that's got some problems that we're helping them to solve. So if you are a business owner, or you want to be a business owner, and you're thinking of starting a business, and you've got some problems, some questions, and some concerns, we'd love to have you present. We are looking for a presenter for next week. Our presenter had to cancel for another engagement, so if you are wanting to present, we'd love to have you come see Ray, Monty, Jim, myself, and we'll get you plugged in for next week. So 1 Million Cups, it's presenters, not pitches, and it's connecting, not networking. So what do we mean by that? So when you come here, we don't want to be sold, right? Nobody wants to have business cards just passed out and be sold. You don't like that, right? I don't like that. But it's about connecting. Where's Jane? Jane, are you here? I saw you earlier. She had to go to a meeting, I think. So Jane, did anybody meet Jane? You know Jane. Okay, so Jane was here a couple weeks ago. She's with New York Life, right? New York Life. So she and I met 2 weeks ago. And I said, hey, let's meet for coffee. She and I met for coffee yesterday, and it was the greatest conversation. We knew some of the same people. We found out we have some similar interests and hobbies. So I encourage you, anybody that you meet here today, reach out and meet them for coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I drink orange juice. But still, run to Panera, run to Foxtail, run wherever, and just sit down and meet people, because you never know where that connection is going to lead you. And it could be an introduction to a future customer or another relationship that could help you. So definitely reach out after this meeting to people that you meet. Thank you. So who's a first-time attendee here today? Raise your hand, don't be bashful. Okay, we are going to pass the mic.
Good morning, my name is Sonia White. I'm a teacher at Eustis High School. I'm also the advisor for Future Business Leaders of America.
Awesome, and that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. All right, thank you. Who else?
My name is Annie. My sister Marianne is presenting, so I'm here to support her, but I'm also launching a tech startup, and it's called Time to Talk.
Great, thank you.
Good morning, I'm Lori. I'm here with GFWC Mount Dora, and I'm just here to check it out.
That's okay, you're welcome to come back. You're welcome to come back.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Chrisman. I'm with Career Source Central Florida, and I work with businesses to support apprenticeship expansion. So thank you for having me.
Great.
Hi, I'm Natalie Estes. I'm a mobile massage therapist. I go pretty much all over Lake County.
Fantastic.
Good morning, my name is Jeff. This is my wife Jennifer, and together we have Neptune Splendor Scuba in Tavares, and we focus on scuba training and education.
Great, welcome.
Hello, I'm Carissa. I am a pre-K teacher and I'm starting an online business called Would Be My Bridesmaid.
You have to ask her about her business. We got another guest or two?
Hello, my name is Jennifer Hafner. I'm with United Southern Bank. You guys probably know Roxy Cruz, our useless manager. I am from the Tavares office, and I brought with me my partner Karen. She's my new account specialist.
Great, well, welcome, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Darrell Day, and my wife and I are the owners of Mystic Ice Cream. We have 4 shops and a truck and incredible ice cream.
You could be one of our food sponsors if you want. I'll eat ice cream in the morning. Anybody else? Okay, all right. We might have an ice cream up here. All right. Who else? Anybody else? Anybody hiding? Okay. All right. Well, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Come back next week. Okay. We don't want to just see you one time. You got to keep coming. So we're going to have a drawing today in our meeting, and we've got some nice 1 million cup swag up here. Did everybody put their business card in the bucket as you came in? If not, we'll pass it around. You can't win if you don't enter, right? So put your card in. All right. Monty, I think I need assistance. Thanks. All right, so I mentioned this again. If you would like to present, we'd love to have you. And it could be a new product that you're thinking of launching. It could be a business you're thinking of starting. Maybe you want to know, would your business idea take off? Is there a need for it? Because we've had some of those folks present. So we are full of expertise in this room, and we would love to help you. So if you're interested in presenting, come see us. And did I mention we have an opening next week? We do have an opening next week. So if you're interested, come see us. Okay, so we are on social media in all those different places, so connect with us on your favorite platform, and feel free to share our posts. We do post each week out on social media to let people know of what we've got coming up. So question of the day, so this is where you get to tell us your answers to this. So what's the most interesting fact that you've learned recently? And it could be anything. Yes?
On my Verizon bill this month, I just seen on the second page that the FUSC has the ability to change their fee every quarter. The Federal Universal Services Communication Services, something like
That sounds like it'd be a long time to get to customer support to ask why we have an increase. That sounds like a complicated fee.
John SBC. I learned this week that Duke Power has stopped purchasing back excess electricity from all of the solar panels. That's really sad.
Well, did you see the giant farm they put on?
Historically, Duke Power buys, if you generate extra electricity with your solar panels in your house, they buy it back. They buy back 50 cents on the dollar, but they did buy it back. They've just stopped purchasing back any excess electricity from your solar panels. So they
That's
did it
what
for
it
free.
was not
actually.
paying under energy when they did that.
I learned this a few months ago, but I learned that third grade reading levels, and you can look them up. Third grade reading levels, depending on the score, a prison will decide whether or not to build a facility in your area. So,
See that again?
I said a fact that I learned recently. See, Lee knows about this, but My jaw dropped when I heard this, but your third grade reading levels at your school, prisons can predict where they want to build their prisons based on that. So if you traditionally have a bad third grade reading level in your area, prisons are looking to build facilities in your area. They correlate that with future prisons.
Also, the same correlation of VPK graduates to third grade reading level, to high school graduates, to prison inmates is about the same number.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Yes.
Latona Pie from Legacy Financial Services. I recently learned that Xfinity in Leesburg has competition because Summit is up and live.
You ready for me?
Yes. Okay, yeah, tell us.
So, my spinning instructor at the gym is a teacher in physical ed at Mount Dora High School, and they received an A rating this year, one of the first in Lake County. And graduation rates and scores and all that stuff, but it's a really big deal.
That's awesome.
Todd Haley, Best Virgin Media. So I learned last night, and my wife did at the same time, that today was her first day back at work as a school teacher. She hadn't figured that out until last night. It was interesting.
Did you pack her a lunch and see her off on the bus?
It was ugly.
Did you put notes in? Like, have a great first day?
I just took the kids to mom.
You gotta put like just some sweet treats and little notes in. You're welcome.
So my wife and I recently were in Alaska. We visited for 2 weeks, and if you've not gone, I encourage you to go. It's an incredible place. The flight is kind of long, okay, your little bottom gets sore, but it's well worth it. And I learned that the mother moose will often have twins. Didn't realize that. And it's because that nature takes over and one of the twins may not meet. So to preserve the species, it's natural for them to often give birth to two. I was fascinated.
Interesting. Okay, any other fun facts?
I have one.
Oh, yeah.
So on Monday was my wedding anniversary, and I learned that I've been married for 8 years and not 7. Facebook. We both were like, that is actually 8 years ago. We've been telling everybody it was our 7.
You know how you're supposed to do
Yeah. He's usually the one that remembers all these things.
Did you make it an 8 out of a 7 on the cake?
We had to pull our license out because we were skeptical of. Are you sure? We're like counting back. I'm like, we got married in 2017. We're counting. I'm like, how does that become 8? It was actually 2016.
Happy 8th anniversary. Anybody else?
I have one.
Okay.
I learned last week, recently, that Eustis High School FBLA went to nationals, and we have a student that placed 3rd in the nation in accounting. Wow. If that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what will.
And Ms. White is back there, and I've been bumping into her ever since then, and we are truly excited. And again, that's an organization, if you want to get behind, you want to get into the Incubator EDU program, be a mentor, help these students. They're entrepreneurs, they're business people, and we got good things going on that nobody seems to know about. So, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Ray and I, and well, when we went to the pitch in April, Monty, yeah, it's a really neat thing to get involved in. So definitely check it out if you've got a few minutes to spare. Okay, any other fun facts? Yes. All right.
I learned a little while back, I'm in South America, in Peru, hanging out with orphan kids because we were working on building some buildings for them. And so I'm taking my camera and taking pictures, these group pictures of these most adorable little kids you ever saw in your life. And then I'd show them in the viewfinder their pictures, and they would laugh, and they would giggle, and they would point. And I started started taking pictures of individual children. And I show them in Viewfinder, and they just look and stare. Till I finally found an adult that could tell me, Tom, you gotta understand, these children have no mirrors at home, and they don't know what they look like.
Sounds like you need to get some mirrors. Business idea. Okay, interesting. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I did forget to introduce our guests. So sorry. So we have Al Abner. Al, do you want to say hello? He's the Economic Development Director for Business. We have Renee with the Lake County Economic Development. We have Monty with Lee with Economic Area Development. Marie with the Uses Chamber. John with the SPDC. And Ray with Lake Economic Area Development. Did I miss something? I have my notes and I flew right by my notes. So, anyway, all right, sorry about that. So today's format. So Marianne Kerwin with Accredited Accounting, she is Accredited Bookkeeping, sorry Marianne. She's going to present us her business and what's keeping her up at night. So she'll present and then we have 20 minutes to give her feedback. So if you don't get a chance to give her feedback and ask questions, Marianne, you'll be here for a little bit after you can ask some questions. So welcome, Marianne. And her information is up on the screen there, so reach out to her after if you come up with something after. Yeah, if it works.
Good morning, everyone. Wonderful turnout today. This is an update for you guys because I talked to you in November. Of course, we have a lot of new people, so you didn't get to see my presentation in November. But this is an update. So I'm Marianne Kerwin. I'm the owner, CFO, president, all the hats at Accredited Bookkeeping. It's a virtual bookkeeping company. So I work with customers all over the United States, primarily in QuickBooks Online, although I do have some experience, maybe 25 years or so experience in QuickBooks Desktop. So I'm also can help people do that as well. Just a little bit about me. These pictures, this is kind of how people come to me. They come to me with boxes of receipts. They come to me with things like that say, help me, help me. And then they leave out with big smiles on their faces. That's my goal anyway for them. I've been doing bookkeeping for about 25 years. I would consider myself to be a serial entrepreneur. I've owned many businesses, sold many businesses, and I have a wide range of experience. I'll give you a couple of examples. I've owned a lawn maintenance company. I've owned a summer wood bat baseball team. I've owned a real estate company. We manage about 600 doors of property management and also sold real estate. So I have a lot of different experiences and it helps me a lot in my bookkeeping because I can understand what people are going through as owners of companies. Last November I came here and I said to you, I'm new to Florida. I have companies that I work for across the United States in different places that I've lived, but I don't have very many businesses here. So how do I increase my local footprint? Well, I've increased my local footprint here by over 1,200% since November. You guys have helped me. I also belong to BNI, and they've helped me. Some people in the room here are my clients. So it's been really great, and I appreciate all the work. I also asked the group how to help people understand that they need a bookkeeper and an accountant and what the difference is and what a bookkeeper does versus what an accountant does. And many people, I've tried out this analogy, I think it's called an analogy, some school teacher could tell me, but a nurse is to a doctor as a bookkeeper is to an accountant. So when you think about if you're in the hospital or if you have a loved one who's ever been in the hospital, the nurse is there, she's charting your vitals, she's giving you medicine, or he, They're giving you medication, they're helping you to the restroom, they're helping you do all the things that you need from them. And then the doctor comes in, and he's there, or she's there for a few minutes, and they look over all the charting that the nurse has done. And the nurse has kept them in the loop and talks to them, and then the doctor talks to the nurse and tells her or him what they want done for the next period until you're released from the hospital. So a bookkeeper does the same kind of things. A bookkeeper does the day-to-day management of the accounting, manages the bank feeds, keeps things up to date, makes sure you're prepared when it's time to do your taxes. We'll go over here. And can handle your accounts payable, can handle your accounts receivable, prepares your financial statements every month or every quarter, depending on what kind of bookkeeping you're doing. Keeps an eye on your cash flow, and I guess I already said prepares the books for accountants. Or a lender, if you need to go get a loan, your books are ready to go, right? And you're not trying to figure that out. Okay, did I go too fast for my slides here? No, okay, here we are, okay. Go to the next one. Okay, this is my summary. These are some books I recommend reading to all my clients. Profit First is a really great program for businesses. The E-Myth Revisited and the Quote of Paper Entrepreneur. If you haven't read that one, you should read it. Go to the next one. Today, I wanted to talk about my business now and some questions I have for you. So, as my business has continued to grow, I need to ensure that my clients continue to receive the same personal attention and service that they receive now. I am developing staff. I have some staff. I have some staff training, working on SOPs, but I'd also like to know what tools and technologies have you used with your staff to maintain communication, cohesion, and the operation of your team. So those are kind of my two questions for you now. As I've grown, I'm bringing on staff. I have a few staff members now. I'm going to continue to bring on staff as I continue to grow. So I want to be able to make sure that all my clients are getting the service that they are, that I'm promising to them, and we're promising to them, and then also keeping the cohesion between the team.
Rick Sizer with Bright Realty Connection. I transact commercial and residential properties. The first thing I would ask you is, do you have a handbook of what you want actually to communicate for your staff? That would be the first thing I would advise you to get together, and there are companies that do that kind of stuff from an HR perspective.
Like an employee handbook? Is that
of what you want, what your business, how you want your business done and everything. That would be the first thing, and then from there you take that on to find those staff members. That's where, from an interview standpoint, you can utilize that in that interview to see if they're going to be a fit right from the beginning.
Michelle Kruger, Brightside Services. Make time to have fun. Invest in your people and let them have fun.
All right, Marianne back here. So, Todd Duncan wrote a book, and part of his training is time blocking. So, I think one of the best things you can do is time block and be consistent. If you're going to have a staff meeting, make sure it's 9 to 10 o'clock every Tuesday, so your staff knows when it is, you know when it is. But time block, and part of the time blocking is what he referred to as red time and green time. Green time is when you're making money, red time is when you're not. You're handling situations and issues. So time block and be consistent with the time blocking. And it may come down to where you may try to help a customer all at one time, but you may be spending an hour and a half, 2.5 hours with them. You might have to break that down into 2 meetings with them, and then allow you time to meet with new meetings, to have staff meetings. But I think time blocking and being consistent can really help. You manage your calendar, don't let your calendar manage you.
Also, a tool that you can use to communicate with your client, with your team and your clients is ClickUp. It's a good project management tool.
So there are a couple of tools that just about every business should have. So you should have a CRM, which is a client relationship manager, a project management software. I also use ClickUp, so that's an awesome one as well. You'd also need a cell system, your internal communications, so Slack or Microsoft Teams, and trying to remember what else I was going to touch on, but that's pretty much it for now.
Thank you. Hi there, thank you for today, that was great. I have a small team also. What I found really helpful is, and I think Jim touched on it, is weekly staff meetings. And I do also monthly extended sessions where we talk about clients and delivery and hits, misses. And the other thing that I found really helpful is, and like you scaling, I've had to learn to be more responsive more quickly, because if I'm delegating to my staff, I need to be available to them when they need the help. Otherwise, we'll lose track of clients and their delivery. So I think that operating system has been really helpful for me.
I grew a construction company substantially by following all the guidelines that I picked up from the E-Myth. A good friend got me the book. And what I basically learned from that was that you as the leader, today you're all the positions. Start writing a diary of everything you do. From here are sales presentations I give, here's what the client's looking for, here's how I start in the books, and you eventually start breaking that into different parts. Here now is the basis for my sales program and the checklist, and you're creating what is a study for anybody that you hire. Well, that person's going to be in sales. Oh, we've got the whole part broken out in sales, and how that works, how we communicate, how we follow up to the person who's actually doing the work. Do they follow up monthly? Are they, what is the level of service that's being created? So you're in charge of writing the book of how everything gets done and how all the instructions take place. One of my bugaboos that took me a while to learn, I had probably a 25-page checklist system of how to build a house. I could take you and have you build $1 million house for me with very little instruction, as crazy as that sounds. I didn't believe it because I was taught that if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. That's what my dad taught me. I had to unteach myself that in order to grow a company. But all the aspects I knew about it were the little soup that went into all those parts and pieces. How does the consistency and quality and integrity that you expect to get maintained throughout that office. Now, I brought people in who would look at the checklist and go, well, I already know how to do that. I'm a little insulted by the checklist. The best way to get people to follow the checklist and become part of the team was to listen for their suggestion. Why do you do this? And would you think about it? Oh my gosh, that's the best idea I've ever heard. We're going back and changing the checklist. Look at what Sally did this week to help us build the checklist to make the company better. Everybody goes, oh, I see how you become celebrated within this team, but also you're going to get that person having just a little piece. It doesn't take much to get them in the checklist. Now they have full ownership of the entire checklist, and all of a sudden you'll see them click in and actually start following the systems, because now it's not a checklist of you, it's a checklist of your team.
Well, there's a couple of important things that you need to do. You need an org chart, okay? You need a job description of every employee. If every time a new employee comes in, you give them a 90-day evaluation to make sure they're on the right track and make sure that they have a written evaluation at least annually. The other thing that you need to do, and this goes for everybody in the room, you want to treat your employees like owners. What does that mean? Some of their compensation is the direct result of how successful you are. That requires you to sit down before the year starts and do a little bit of a budget, okay? Where do I want to be? So if you say, I want to have $50,000 in pre-tax profit for 2024 and you hit 55, share the other 5 with your employees because they helped you make it possible. So.
Well, I would say, Yolanda from Tourist Source, Monty invited me last week, I came back again. I would say to you, as you bring in new staff, be open-minded. What I mean by being open-minded, you shape and mold that individual where you want them to grow in your company. We always realize someone's gonna bring something to the table, but you grow where you wanna go. And also success stories. You know, every day, if I may, the Lord is doing something great in our lives. So success stories will help your business and help your employees as well.
I have a question. Thank you for your presentation and all the energy in the room. My question is in regards to my first statement, or the fact that I learned this week. How does a business such as yourself budget for things that are beyond your control, such as getting a little paragraph on your bill saying within the next quarter or every quarter, the Federal Universal Communication Services, or whatever that acronym was on my Verizon bill. Verizon is communication, we all use it. How do you budget for that? I mean, I think of my ex-husband whose business totally runs on communication 8 hours. I mean, and if the system shuts down, that's the type of question I would pose to you. Thank you.
I think John said everything I was going to say, but sorry. I would put it into a bumper sticker format, and that's hire slow and fire fast. If you hire with a set of systems, and if you have another person that you can rely on to do the interviewing, that's great. And as soon as that person gets on board and doesn't represent your values, you need to let them go very quickly.
I'm not going to stand up because I'll probably fall. It's tight back here. As an employee, everybody wants to know what's in it for them. What kind of benefits can you offer me? What kind of health insurance? How are you going to set me up for my future? What kind of days off do I get? I'm searching right now for a job for my boyfriend, and that's all we're looking at. We don't even really care what the position is. We want to know what exactly is in it for the employee. So always be upfront and follow through with those. If you're really going to give 5 days off, don't say, oh, it's too busy, we're not going to give you 5 days off, because they want to know what is in it for them. Offer rewards regularly at the bank where I work. We have these things called red bucks that we earn whenever an employee or a customer may comment on the great job you do, or you're volunteering for an opportunity. Always offer things, because as an employee, you always want to know, what are you doing for me?
So I'd say to Jim's point, I'm just going to kind of expand on it. Building out phases rather than focusing on everything. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see in so many different businesses. It's like, oh, I got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. One of the most common things that I hear is build your plan and work your plan, or something like that. Anybody knows that? But there are also people, to that first point, who will oftentimes over-optimize, right? You're in the process of building out your systems, your infrastructure, your team, and oftentimes people will try to figure out what's the best way that I can do it, and it hinders them from starting in the first place. So that's another one that I say to focus on. Go into everything with intention. If you have a meeting, make sure you have questions, list it out, plan it out. Because oftentimes, even within networking, we'll hop on a call, and no one has an agenda or a goal. It's just like, oh, I just wanted to talk to you. So make sure you plan for that as well. And also, another really cool thing that people don't realize, you oftentimes, and this gentleman made a great example, but you oftentimes don't have to be the one always building out the SOPs. And you don't have to necessarily be the one who receives feedback from it. If you find someone who's really good on your team, or maybe you have a coach or someone who's better than you at something, you can have them build the SOPs. I have my team members build SOPs all the time. I'll go in, check them out, and I'll be the one following them, So rely on people who are oftentimes smarter than you in different positions well, so that's awesome. Crunch time. So what I love to do, and we spoke about this, but if I'm doing interviews, I'll actually do crunch time. Me personally, I shorten all of my interviews to 5 minutes, and I'll have them back to back. And what happens is Parkinson's law. It's kind of like when you have let's say you make 50% more money in the next month, right? Somehow your bills take that up, like somehow, some way, right? And I'm sure we all fall victim to that. Well, there is an opposite effect of that as well. And within that 5 minutes, and it's kind of like procrastination, somehow we get it done, right? So if you do crunch time and you're trying to get time back so you can spend it, on whatever you want to do, or bring on more clients, make sure you're doing crunch time, make sure your clients know what the agenda is, make sure whoever you're interviewing or your team knows what the agenda is. I keep team meetings down to 10 minutes, I keep interviews down to 5 minutes, client conversations maybe 15 to 30 minutes. I don't go an hour, it's not in my calendar. So make sure you implement those, and yeah.
You mentioned personal attention. What kind of personal attention do you provide your customers currently?
Well, I talk with them when they call. When I'm looking at their bookkeeping and I see something that I think they need to have called out, I'll talk to them about that. When I need clarification, some of my communication with them is through a portal that we have, so they can just answer questions through the portal, but some of it is either face-to-face or on the phone.
Sure. You mentioned technologies, and it's been mentioned already, CRM, contact management software.
Right.
Wendy and I are big Zoho users, and I can't recommend that strongly enough. Give you an opportunity to put all of your customers in one place, divide them as however you need to divide them up, communicate with them based on those criteria that you've set up, follow up with them. All of that is in that one package, and it's relatively inexpensive. So if you're looking for a CRM, Wendy and I would both recommend that you look for Zoho.
It's totally awesome. I have a comment too to piggyback. So the losing the personalization, I had a client once tell me that. They said, when a business gets too big, you start to lose the personalization. And that is a fear because you're an expert in what you do. So what I do is just put it in my calendar and I just make calls and I'll text clients a lot. Hey, are you free for 10, 15 minutes? And it's not always about business. Most of the time, we're just kind of shooting the breeze with what we talk about. But they really enjoy it. So I don't always talk to them about, hey, your website this or your that. It's more, how are your kids? So that's how I've been able to keep the personalization in it. And like Dawn, we were talking briefly. So I'll share a lot about what my kids are up to or what happened with a farm animal that I have. And people like that. So I try to make it personal, but then they feel like, oh, I did hear from Marianne. Okay, yeah, I heard from her. So if you can carve out, and it doesn't have to be a long time, and it's hard to do, but that's how I've been able to keep the personalization in my business. And then a question I have, do you have independent contractors, or are they employees, and are they project-based? Because that is a challenge if you've got people that are just working on projects to get that team environment. How are you set up?
Well, I have independent contractors that work for me, and they might work on specific clients versus all of the clients, So maybe they work on these 3 clients, and this work on these 5 clients, depending on, try to, put them with the groups, kind of in the same sort of business or industry, so that they're used to that, they're not bouncing around.
One tool, I know a couple people mentioned this other tool, I hadn't heard of it, so I want to find out more about it. I use Trello, and it's a board, and you create cards, and you can share the card with whomever. So I don't know if you're familiar with Trello. They have a free version and a paid version. That's worked well for me.
Yeah, I have a CRM, and it's built up specifically for bookkeepers, so we can, my My contractors can work with me, and they can comment on things. I always know where they're at in their projects. They know if it's time to turn it to the next person, they can mark it that it's ready for the next person, or it's ready for review if somebody needs to review it. So, yeah, I have something similar to that.
Marianne, you mentioned cohesion. Do you have some pain points that you'd be willing to share with us now you're having trouble with?
Not necessarily. We're having meetings, and we're doing well with the chats and thing, but I want to kind of create a point where I'm not the person they're always coming to when they have questions. I want them to come to each other and talk to each other about what's working with them, with their clients, so that if they have a question or that kind of thing, I want them to kind of be a team.
So a way to help with that is maybe involving them in the planning process, giving them that leeway, that creative freedom to be an entrepreneur. So developing leaders within your team. So whether there's a point person, some hierarchical structure, someone that you pay a little bit more for their experience, you probably have that one person that makes a little bit more. Maybe have them take on that accountability so you have that extra set of eyes. In your business plan, don't forget your people plan. Put a dollar value on that job description and stick to it and refer to the market and how you can develop that as you scale. So because people are often the most expensive part of the business, the most often forgot about in the business plan.
And really important.
So a follow-up on what John said. John takes everybody's ideas. So you read the E-Myth, and I think this is great for everybody. Read the E-Myth because that tells you how to give each position a specific title, and they stick with that, and then they change accordingly. Second book that I would recommend is called Traction. It's by Gino Wickman, and it's a great book and telling you how to structure and run your business. And I think these two kind of fall into that category because you've created job titles, now you've created a job structure. That will take time away from you that you can do and make the text calls and the way that Wendy had discussed where you can keep that personal contact. And then my last thing is, and I would check with Kaylee on this, but when you said that you have contract employees, you probably need to have.
Say employees, they're contractors.
Yeah, you probably need to have some type of a contract in place to protect your customers that they stay with you. And I think it's harder when you have a contract employee that they don't leave with that person versus a W-2 employee.
Yes, Kaylee and I have that worked out.
Hey Marianne, I so appreciate your help with my business. So I have an idea, it's very short, but I think that if this is in place, it kind of fills number 2, which overflows to your number 1. So the quote is, a person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected. And I think that a lot of times we as business owners get so wrapped up in, you gotta do it this way, you gotta do it this way, because that's the way we do it, that we don't allow for those who are working with us or for us to breathe in that space. They could potentially have better ideas than we have, but we will not see it because that's not how we do it, right? And so if we can have, I'm saying we because I'm in the same position, but if we can have kind of an overarching, this is how we want our customers to be treated, you know, and you allow them that space, and then you show them so much appreciation, they are going to do more than what is expected in that space, and I think that they will blow your mind when the end comes around. But to try to focus on them being appreciated in this space as opposed to telling them what they have to do individually.
So, piggybacking on what Tom has said, one of the most exciting parts about a new employee is they come to you with a suitcase full of ideas, okay? They walk in your door, they put that suitcase next to the desk, and in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, they're gonna analyze what you do. They're gonna open that suitcase and pull out their best idea and discuss it with you. If you say, no, that won't work, guess what happens? They shut the suitcase, stick it under the desk, and start looking for another place to work.
So I really love systems and infrastructure. It's my job. But I got some more things after listening to everyone. You guys give amazing feedback, by the way. Awesome. All right, so just the software. Loom is great for building out SOPs. You have an AI system where you record a Loom, you walk through it, and it will automatically structure the SOP in 3 different ways. Another one is relying on your systems. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't a founder. So make sure everything gets logged into your system. Keep it out of here. Never keep anything in your head, because that's what keeps us stressed. We're always thinking about, oh, I gotta do this, gotta do that. Find something. Another app that I use personally is called TipTip.
We're gonna open it up for some more because we're out of time. We're almost out of time.
All right.
So yeah, if you can share with Mary Ann the rest of those,
I will do
that would be
that.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, we've got time for a couple more. Anybody else? Because we're coming to the end. We want time for community announcements. Okay, we're gonna go to that in a second, but a couple more feedback. Yeah.
I do.
For Mary Ann.
In regards to SharePoint, when I used to be in the corporate world, very small extent, they had a SharePoint for all employees to where if there was a certain question that they needed an answer for, they would go to that, and I forgot what it's called in the world, but in the software world, but it's a SharePoint of where they can frequently ask questions, and they can go in there and get that answer. And if they can't, then they can send it out home.
Thank you. And we'll take 2 more comments. We have 2 more. We covered it all? Okay. Well, thank you for presenting.
I just want to say this about Mary Ann. We are a new customer of Mary Ann's. She has taken over business on my business. She's assisting us with our business, and she's been always on time, always available, and I couldn't recommend her highly enough.
Okay, so we're going to open it up to testimonials, and Mary Ann's contacted testimonials and community announcements. Sorry, I was trying. I can't walk and shoot them. Mary Ann's information is there. You go back one more. So take a picture of that. If you want to reach out to her, and if you've got some more ideas, feel free to share them with her. So community announcements, and I saw Lee had something up there. There's an event. You want to talk about that, Monty?
Some of you have heard this record before, but it's a good tune. It's about building connections in the construction industry. We're going to have a powerhouse panel August 8th at the Venetian for breakfast. ABC is charging. This is our first partnered event with the Associated Builders and Contractors of Central Florida. This is kind of their coming to lake party. So Kathleen Dial, the current Economic Development Director for Lake County Government, Richard Levy, who's a consultant for not only Wellness Way in Claremont, but also the Wolf Ranch Innovation Center in Mount Dora, Dan Tatro, probably the largest commercial property broker in North Lake County, Tara Tedrow, land use attorney, and also the developer of the Mineola Interchange. They're building the Advent Health Hospital in Crooked Camp. So it'll be there to kind of get a snapshot of what's coming up in Lake County, what you might not have known about otherwise, and connections to people at the top that are trickling opportunities down. So that's probably a good one. And other events you can find on our event calendar, leadinglake.com. You can also upload your own events that are business related.
Thank you. Other events, yes?
Hi everybody, I own Compassionate Connections Home Care and Compassionate Limestone Notary, and we're doing a back to school giveaway this Saturday, 12 to 3, here at Mega Workplace, and we have over 150 backpacks. We're giving out some laptops and nice stuff. So if you guys know people from the backpacks, this Saturday, 12 to 3.
Thank
The Tri-City Adult Baking Corporation. August the 8th at 5:30, we're going to be having our ribbon cutting, showcasing our expansion of our different services that we recently got licensed for. So that's on Classic Lane on Intervaries, August the 8th at 5:30. Everyone's welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Elizabeth with Harmony Real Estate and Transaction Coordinator. We're hosting an event on August 28th. I have flyers in the back. It's a real estate networking event. We have free professional headshot photos and we have a raffle for a free drone shoot.
Great. Did you want to go?
Yes. And this Friday night is First Friday in downtown Eustis. I know it's hot, but you know, if the rains don't come, we'll have a great First Friday. Back to school next week for the teachers. On Monday, Eustis High School is having their teacher breakfast at the community center. If you're interested in helping or donating or doing anything, please see me. I'm going to be helping serve those educators that serve our children. Also, next Wednesday is our monthly breakfast, the first Wednesday of the month. If you are not a member, you're thinking about becoming a member, come get my card and you can come to breakfast for free on Wednesday. We've got a great program. We've got some an award ceremony going on, and we also give all of our new members an opportunity to get up and speak in front of the membership. And you know, typically we're at 90 to 100 people for breakfast, and it is a fun breakfast. And our people like to see each other and network in that situation. So it's just fun. It's a good, fun time, and it's informative. So
Breakfast is great, by the way.
yes, Jeannie's does our breakfast, so it's always amazing. So if you would like to attend, please come see me.
I highly recommend getting involved in the chamber. If you are not a chamber member, you need to talk to Marnie. It is the best place to network with people, connect. Okay, others? Oh yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha Kleinbach, and my business is Wellness Wisdom, where I teach people how to prevent disease through diet. And I'm going to be at an event for ovarian cancer, talking about research, different treatments, and what I'm going to be doing is presenting a salad and letting everyone try some of the salad. It's going to be at the Sanford Civic Center from 8 a.m. to 4 this Saturday. And there's going to be speakers, dietitians, myself, and it's all about teaching and educating the community on what to do to prevent ovarian cancer, different treatment options, and that there's a community for it. And it goes with my purpose of my business to prevent disease through diet. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming today. And we're going to stay for a picture. Is that what you said?
And a giveaway.
Oh, and the giveaway. I forgot. Who's doing the giveaway? Okay, Marianne, do you want to draw our lucky winner? Did everybody put their card in? You can't win if you don't put your card in. Just saying.
Yolanda Green.
Sweats and swag. So thank you all for coming, and we'll be meeting again next week right here, same time, 8:30 to 10. And if you can't join us in person, then join us on Facebook. And we're going to do a group picture, so everybody can come up and do a picture. Thank you. It does, yes. It is so nice to see you. Yeah.